Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody to another fantastic match of StarCraft 2, spawning in the bottom left of the map as the red zerg player. It is LV Keat. Give it up for Keat, the zerg invader. And spawning in the top right of the map as the blue Terran player, the master of disaster, the hero with IQ 0, it is Lord Tomicron. Welcome everybody. Will our hero with IQ 0 defeat the Zerg invasion? Or will the hero be swarmed with endless wave of Zerg units? We will see. In the meanwhile, Lord Tomicron building the standard barracks, following with a gas for a fast expand, of course, very standard move so far, nothing fancy, nothing creative, both players, also Keat, following with the standard 16H, to have a very economical opening. And the overlord for Keat is going to scout already, crossing the map to check what's up in Tomicron's base. No tricks, no fancy stuff, everything very standard. A kind of a strange drone, this is not standard actually, strange drone being sent out by Keat. We don't know what's up. Maybe Keat wants an early expansion. Indeed, Keat, very, I would say, extremely economical opening for the Zerg player. Already 3 bases after not even 1 minute and a half of match. Amazing opening. And now, it's 3 hatch before pool. Very economical opening, so this can take some damage if Tomicron is aggressive early with a Reaper, for example, but we see Keat continue to press down this drone button, and so Keat is taking a gamble already, gathering a lot of economy for himself and neglecting army and defense, while his overlord are scouting what's up in Tomicron's base. Tomicron building the second base on the safe high ground, and the first Reaper of Tomicron is already going up. No, not yet. Yes, instead, Tomicron is sending a Reaper, and now this... What? Keat? 4th base for the Zerg player. What am I saying? This is completely greedy. I mean, Keat, the Zerg player, is building 4th bases and no units, while Tomicron is checking with his Reaper what's up. Let's see what Tomicron finds out. So, not really the most brilliant micro of Tomicron. Now Tomicron closes in, throws the grenade, damages a drone. Tomicron harasses a drone, harasses another drone. Unfortunately, Tomicron shooting a drone. Let's see. Unfortunately, the drone is spent into a spine crawler. Tomicron doesn't find any kill, which is impressive because there were only 2 leads. So very bad micro by Tomicron because Tomicron sucks. And yeah, but Keat had to spend some. And now Tomicron checks the. Tomicron is checking the archery, but let's see. Tomicron, if we go to his vision, Tomicron now sees this base, but doesn't see this base. So Tomicron thinks that the Zerg has 3 bases, where the Zerg has already 4 bases. 4 bases active and running. Whereas Keat has a better understanding of what Tomicron is doing, also because Tomicron is not doing anything special, already pumping Hellions, the fast cars for map control from the factory, and swapping the barracks with the starport to produce fast starport units such as the Banshee to do more harass. And Tomicron now has a window to do a lot of harass because wow, the Zerg has already 29 drones. Yeah, and 5 queens. So and two lanes. So the Zerg has only 2 lanes going up to 37 drones. So the Zerg is being as greedy as possible, as economical as possible. Already 4 bases, a lot of queens, creep spreading, drones being produced. Let's see. Not even 1 gas. I mean, the Zerg player doesn't have the upgrade for the links. I mean, 2 aliens can destroy everything here because the Zerg player doesn't have any defense whatsoever except for queens. Not even 1 single gas taken for the Zerg. So, Zerg player is at 61 drones, whereas Tomicron is only 36, so Zerg is almost doubling the workers of the Terran. Tomicron starting now the 3rd base, and now the first Hellions for Tomicron across the maps. Let's see how much how much harassment can Tomicron find. So Tomicron killing up some Great Tumors, Tomicron diving in, focusing on some Queens. Queens cannot resist too much army for Tomicrons, also because Zerg didn't produce any army, and now the drone roast is beginning, a lot of drones going down. Pay attention. The Tomicron safely retreats because Banshee cloaks. The Zerg doesn't have detection to detect this cloak unit. Now, very late in building the Spire, and Tomicron says, okay, I did enough damage. Still the Banshee parked here to do some damage, and the aliens are rotating on the other side, on the south side of the map. Still the Banshee trying to confuse the queens. One queen is killed. So Tomicron has killed a lot of, wow. Tomicron killing drones again. And the Banshee now, where the detection is on, the Banshee now dies. But at what cost? Tomicron, keeping this part of the map under control. 13 units went down for the Zerg against 1 unit for the Terran. I like the wow. And now I like the economical approach of the Zerg player. The Zerg player is saying, no problem, you can harass me, Tomicron, but I will always have more economy and more worker than you. I will play some static defense here to defend against your Hellion Banshee, also the Spore Clover for the Banshee. Meanwhile, Tomicron killing an Overlord to scout. This Marine is killing the Overlord, so no scout for you. Wow, already 5th base! 5 bases already, we are not even 7 minutes. 5 bases for the Zerg player. What's happening here? And Tomicron is now only taking this 3rd base. 5 bases against 3. So, Tomicron, if Tomicron doesn't react, the risk is that Tomicron will be getting swarmed to death by the economy of the Zerg. Alright. Tomicron producing 2 more barracks. Still another small army that can go to harass something from Tomicron. Now Tomicron is taking his 3rd base, whereas Keat is taking his 5th base. Tomicron denying vision with this Viking killing the Overlord, so this Viking now is killing the other Overlord, so less vision for Keat. But Keat has a very nice net of Overlord everywhere, so Keat is quite aware of what Tomicron is doing. And now, 6 bases! I cannot believe that! The Zerg doesn't care of defense, doesn't care of army, so let's see the units. The Zerg has no army whatsoever, only 2 Lings and 8 Queens. Tomicron 1 tank. The Zerg has 91 drones, and now Tomicron diving in. Tomicron with some cars, killing 1 queen. The Zerg has no army, but a lot of economy. So Tomicron, parking here at the Hellions. Tomicron scans, kill some creep, goes south. South there is a base. Tomicron fights the queen. Tomicron finds the archer and say, oh, a hatchery to kill. Let me morph my aliens in airbats. In hellbat mode, this unit do more damage. The queen goes down. Tomicron is content, killing the 6th base. Yeah, but Tomicron doesn't know, right? So here what's happening is that misrally of the Zerg, these Overlords all fall to the Tor. In the meanwhile, Tomicron killing the base of the Zerg, and the Hellbats transforming again in the more mobile version. Let's see the Hellbats diving in. Now the vision of Lotto, oh my god. So Tomicron doesn't know. Tomicron thinks it's just 4 bases. But no, Tomicron, you should check better the... Oh no! So Keat say, no problem, you kill this base, no problem, Tomicron. I rebuild it here, and I am still 6 bases. Tomicron finding a wall of static defense. These Spine Clovers will prevent these Hellions to dive in. So Tomicron says, alright, you have a static D over there. What's happening? 7 base! 7 base from the Zerg! So the Zerg doesn't care. The Zerg says, I will control the map. I will build a lot of bases. So now, Tomicron. And Tomicron doesn't know. Tomicron 8 base. I mean, can Tomicron even count to 8? I don't think so. So we have a 8 base Zerg against a 4 base Terran. The point is that Tomicron is ahead in supply because Tomicron produced also army. So the Viking of Tomicron lands to kill one of the 8 base of the Zerg, whereas now Tomicron realizes there is a base more. So Hellions roasting some drones, and and Keat has lost 38 drones for 2,600 resources, lost another hedge. So, but Keat still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases against 4 bases, and the threat is real. The units. So, oh my god, only 14 Hydras for the Zerg, so very fragile army, and 8 tanks, 3 Tors, 74 SCVs, 92 SCVs for the Zerg. So the Zerg has just made a gamble. Basically, the gamble is I can be as economic as I want, having a lot of bases, a lot of drones. Another drone of the Zerg is going to build, guess what? Another base. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. The Zerg now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bases, which is on the map. But Tomicron, pay attention. Tomicron is making a move on the map, finally. After harassing, Tomicron thinks that the Zerg is crying on 4th bases, but one attack from Tomicron is coming. Tomicron wants to kill what he believes is the new fresh base of the Zerg. Tomicron doesn't know the Zerg has 4 fresh bases more, so the army of Tomicron is parked here to prepare for the attack to the 5th base of the Zerg. Let's see. Now, a forest of spine crawlers will be dealt with very easily by all these tanks, so this base will most likely fall, but in the meanwhile, a counter-attack for the Zerg. These Hydras have 1-1 upgrades, plus Infestors, very dangerous unit because they can steal the enemy units. Now, Tomicron kill one of the 1,000 base of the Zerg, whereas the Zerg is now attacking the 4th base of Tomicron, right? 4th base is a planetary fortress, so some Zerglings makes. Now, the Zerg attacks the base. Tomicron realized the 4th base under attack. SCV scramble to repair. The base can defend itself because of this big gun on the roof of the base. Meanwhile, the whole army of Tomicron is scrambling back, and now the army of the Zerg is sandwiched between the planetary fortress and the army of Tomicron. Let's see. Hydra's falling. The Infestor don't know what to do. The planetary forces are not falling. The Corruptor from the sky are damaging the fortress. The Infestor all go down, and finally the attack from the Zerg is held, and those Tors are actually bombarding the observers, the Infestor. Tomicron has defended the attack. Tomicron has defended the attack, but at what price? Tomicron builds another defensive base over here. Now Tomicron killing the 10th base of the Zerg. And here Tomicron realizes something is fishy. Why is a base of yours on my side of the map? Tomicron has a fair knowledge about these bases, but yet another army of the Zerg is ready with Mamas, the flying bugs for the Zerg, still trying to attack. Let's see. But still drones repairing. Mamas flies in the natural base. Tomicron scrambling to repair the turret. So the turret is the only piece of defense of Tomicron, so all the army of Tomicron scrambles back. But the natural base of Tomicron falls down, so the Zerg snipes one base of Tomicron. Tomicron still massively ahead in supply, but now, okay, the Zerg kills one base of Tomicron and retreats. So the plan of the Zerg, most likely, is to harass the opponent to death, like the moment Tomicron will move up on the map. Tomicron has the most powerful army because these units have 2-2-2 to attack and to upgrade. Tomicron moves again, but the Zerg is saying, yeah, you can move out and kill one of my 1,000 bases, but the moment you move out, I will move in and deal damage to you. So this is the plan of the Zerg, which I like, honestly. I like the economical strategy of the Zerg, which is sitting now still at 82 drones, still with quite a bank. Even this Tomicron has more bank in this moment. So the Zerg is morphing the Broodlords. Tomicron is not realizing there is a base to kill. Now, does it realize? Yes, it does realize. So the whole army of Tomicron moves to kill only one base of the 1,000 base of the Zerg, and yet the Zerg is taking some small economical damage, but in the meanwhile, the Zerg is moving in to kill the 3rd base. This is a very, very valuable base that Tomicron cannot afford. Tomicron cannot afford to lose this. So the Broodlords, very scary units, move in. Corruptors damaging the base on the sky. Broodlords starting to kill everything. Tomicron, with his whole army, kills another base, but in the meanwhile, Tomicron completely out of position for this fight, and the third base of the Terran falls. Tomicron, scrambling back with his whole army to defend the attack. Tomicron doesn't accept the base trade because he knows that the Zerg has more bases. Another base risks to fall for the Terran, let's see. But now, the Broodlords meet the full Terran army. Infestor, pay attention, the Infestor mirrors some units. So see, these units from the Zerg can mirror, and now these units are Zergs. And they are killing everything. Oh, very bitter fight from Tomicron. The mural wears off finally, but still some units damaging some Tomicron army. Tomicron, what are you doing? The Infestor still alive for the Zerg. Still disrespecting the Zerg is morphing units in front of the Tomicron base. Funny Tomicron scans, and now all these stores are mirrored again. Tomicron taking a lot of damage, and a very bitter fight for both players actually. This Broodlords still finding a lot of damage in the face of the Taurs, but finally these Broodlords are slowly but surely cleaned out by Tomicron Taurs. But Tomicron still has to replenish the base, some Zerglings. And see, the Zerg can afford. The point of the game is that the Zerg can afford using units like. So, the Zerg lost a lot, but the Zerg can afford to lose all these units. Because the Zerg has more economy. You're right. Whereas Tomicron has only 3 bases, now the 4th is in construction. And Tomicron, you see that the bank is very depleted. Whereas the Zerg has a bigger bank, especially in gas. 65 workers for Tomicron, 78 workers for the Zerg. Another Zerg army collecting in this place to try again the attack, but the Zerg is a little bit not replenishing the drones and not replenishing the bases. I wouldn't mind another base here, another base here, another base here for the Zerg. Otherwise, you give your opponent the time to rebuild the economy and to rebuild the army. Three upgrades for the mech army of Tomicron, whereas only 1-2 for the Zerg, but 2-2 only for the ground, and 1-2 for the air units for the Zerg. Still another small army for the Zerg. I wouldn't mind more drones, honestly. More drones, more upgrades, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, there is a Spire, a Greater Spire, yeah, Ultra X then. I wouldn't mind some drones mining here, for example. And even the Lurkers can be built now, so Tomicron sending some confusing, harassing aliens to kill some drones, and they get the job done. So now, no, they don't get the job done because, yeah, they kill some drones, but the Zerg immediately rebuilds the drones. And in the meanwhile, while this harassment is going on, the Zerg tries another time. Ooh. And again, the Infestor causing a lot of problems to neural the Taurs that they start doing friendly fire to their friendly units. Tomicron struggling to kill the Infestors, and then struggling to kill also the Broodlords. Very bitter fight again, a lot of resources lost for the Terran, I guess. And still, the Terran lost a lot of resources, but the Zerg lost 10,000 resources more. So, but I still believe in the plan of the Zerg, honestly. Tomicron switching to Broodlords in the meanwhile, trying to chase away the smaller army of the Zerg. Please repair some Taurs, because these Taurs are really, really badly abused, while the third base is still up and running, not yet an orbital. Then there is another base fell, more orbitals for Tomicron, and 2 planetary fortresses to defend the south side. Still 4 bases for the, still 4 functioning bases for the Terran against 7 bases for the Zerg. Okay, skirmishes between the Mastor's army of Tomicron. But what beats Mastor's? Master Lurkers. So Tomicron realizes the Lurkers are here, scans, sees the Lurkers, has to go back and face the Hydras. These Taurs are very bruised and can be killed by the Hydras, but not all of them. Tomicron switching back to tanks because tanks deal with Hydras again and also with Lurkers. Too few Lurkers to defend. The Zerg has to produce a bit faster if, yeah, only 140 supply. Let's check the production. Okay, Tomicron attacking this side of the map again. Tomicron trying to kill some economy finally of his opponent. Tank sieging up, another tank sieging up, and this base should be as good as destroyed. Meanwhile, the Zerg, in a smart way, is denying the reinforcements to the Terran. Two Thors battling the two Zerglings and some Hydras, and some two Thors catch the morphing Broodlords, but they have to fight the Hydras that have 2-2 upgrades against 3-3 Thors, and this army cleans up one of the mining bases of the Zerg. Now, this army... Now, the Zerg starts having 61 drones, so slowly but surely, the Zerg is losing economy. So, the strategy of the Zerg starts to crumble a bit, because with a low economy, the Zerg cannot replenish its army fast enough. Now, Tomicron closing in and destroying another mining base of the Zerg. This is bad for the Zerg. So, and the Zerg decides to counterattack with a small army. The Zerg to counterattack. I don't see so much of a counterattack yet. And the Zerg is losing more and more economy. This is painful for our Zerg friend. But now, Zerg is decisive to give the final blow without problem. A tank gets shred to pieces by these Broodlords. Tanks don't shoot up. Broodlords are great against the planetary fortress. Tomicron realizes that and scrambles back with all these Thors to defend, but the Lurkers are dealing damage to the Thors that are badly bruised. Meanwhile, the Hydras trying to target down the planetary fortress that gets desperately repaired by the workers of Tomicron. Let's see, the army of Tomicron is back, and the Broodlords must go away because the Thors... There is one Lurker that Tomicron didn't see, one Lurker having one kill, doing a lot of damage. Tomicron securing the south side of his economy. 2 kills for the Lurker, now Tomicron scans it, reveals it, and the Lurker is killed. Another base taken from Tomicron, so Tomicron is getting access to fresh economy, whereas yet another base, so Tomicron moving from 4 to 6 bases to get more economy and to increase his very poor bank to build more army, because this game is going long for a lot of time, a lot of armies being lost, so Tomicron has to get income from somewhere to afford all those fights. So we see peacefully the Terran base mining, next to the Zerg base mining, so we are friends, very close to each other. A lot of workers of Tomicron trying to get all the minerals from this base, and maybe one day from this base as well. Zerg trying to power up his economy as well, but no, because now the Terran has more SCVs than the Zerg. So if the Terran can drain up the bank with another trade, then the Terran has a hope to win the game. Tomicron moving to the south side of the map, denying for the 11th time this base from the Zerg. This base is now denied. 2 Thors, 1 Thor is very bruised, a lot of tanks, and the Ultras close in, Lurker Ultras, Tomicron dealing fairly well with this army. Zerg has to retreat to find a better engagement. Tomicron closing to another valuable base of the Zerg. Let's see. Tomicron scans for a flank of Lurker that is coming in, so Tomicron siege up, and the Lurkers! No! Disastrous engagement for the Zerg player. Sacrifices all the Lurkers for nothing inside the tank line of Tomicron, and this is a disastrous engagement. The Zerg loses all in one error his whole army and one of the last mining bases. GG, well played, is scored by the Zerg player, and Tomicron wins the game after resisting a lot of harassment, a lot of attacks for the Zerg player. We compliment the Zerg player for this economical strategy, but something went wrong. The production of the Zerg should have been faster, maybe more injects, more production, more waves, would have defeated Tomicron, but this time Tomicron takes the victory. Thank you all for watching, don't forget that Tomicron sucks, and see you later for another video.